Hello, I'm doing another one. I had so much fun doing the first one. I'm doing, I had a great job today on the garden, the way it came out. It was just so easy to do. I guess as I get older, I figure out ways to do things a lot easier. I used, back in the day, I used to use a tiller. I just went and looked at a couple of videos and I'm surprised, but I have respect for people who want to garden their way. Um, the gentleman was using a tiller, and I looked at his soil. He had clay soil. You can see it from the camera. I mean, he had clay soil that he was tilling down about eight. The tillers will get down if you really bear down on them. They'll get down about 8 inches. But he had a large lot, and he was tilling all of this lot. I just looked at him. I said, "Wow, he's doing a lot of work." Um, but at any rate, that's what he was doing. Um, and he fertilized it with a chemical fertilizer. And I'm looking at that, going, "Oh man, he's you know that's kind of rough." So anyway, that's what he did. He's planting up, and so I already seen this movie before. I know how it works. Um, you go by the real old standards of gardening, and it beats you up. You get low results, and you eventually wind up ruining your soil. I've seen this movie before because at one time I was in it and I did it, and I didn't know, that that's in fact what I was doing was ruining my soil. Um, so at any rate, I'm doing better now. Um, it's just great. It's just really great, folks. The way I'm doing it now, I went out. I took a fork, just simply poked it in 8 inches deep, lifted the soil, poke in, lifted it, poked in, lifted it, 2 inches back. I just go uh, in, 2 inches back, lift, 2 inches back, lift, 2 inches back, lift. And I left the weeds and everything in place. They were about some of them 3 and 4 inches deep weeds. Now watch this. I made I lifted in that area about 3 feet across, 3 feet hole, 3 foot hole, excuse me. And then I just simply grabbed the weeds out, and they just fell out of the soil because once you loosen the soil, they have nothing to hang on to, basically. So I lifted all of them out and I laid them over on the side. And people would say, "Well, why didn't you just get rid of weeds?" I don't get rid of weeds. I don't get rid of weeds. Weeds are benefit to me. Weeds benefit my garden. So at any rate, I lift the weeds out, lay them to the side, and all I have is loose, crumbly soil with all these worms in it. All these worms. Now the worms are there for two reasons. One, when you put a pitchfork in the ground and start wrestling it around, they pop up to the surface. They come out. They think something's after them digging. And so they come up to the surface. So I just simply lift, 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 and the worms start just popping up. And you're not really damaging your soil. You lift it out. I simply took the cylindrical spade shovel. It's about that wide, and removed this. And I just set the plant down in. I took it out of a cup and just set it down in there, and fertilized it, added some manure, and watered it in. I just came from out there checking on the plants. Look immaculate. There's no fallback. There's no signs of stress because before you put them in the ground, you want to water your plants up before you start messing with them. Water them up. Let them, don't put them in there, yanking them out, and they dry, and then you put them in the ground and then water them. Water them while they're in the cups so that they slide right out of the cup. But I'm gonna tell you, folks, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I put in watermelons today, yellow summer squash, and also gray zucchini, and I put that in. So I'm looking good now. I'm looking good. So once I get off tomorrow, I'm gonna put two more watermelon plants in and some more squash and zucchini, and that's how that's done. Once I get all that done, next will be my tomato plants. They'll be going in. Um, and tomato plants, again, are heavy feeders. We'll be putting those in, and they will do their thing. And I'm happy. Look at this right here. See, this is a happy man that figured out, how to cut costs in the garden and how to grow beautiful plants that will produce beautiful fruit. And that's what I'm doing. Folks, it feels good because for so many years, uh, I did this for over 20 years. I ran around, I asked everybody how to garden, I asked professionals, I asked people at stores that were selling the product, and all they were doing was trying to sell me products. And good thing I had common sense enough not to fall into that. When they would say, I said, my soil, and then he said, well, what you got is clay. He said, what you need is something called soil conditioner. Well, soil conditioner is leaves. And I was getting those already. Then a guy tried to sell me at the store something called compost starter. Compost starter. You can start a compost pile with just using some of the old compost in the old pile. Just put it in the layers and it will be full of biology, and that's what will help break down the new pile. So they try to sell me that, $15, $16 a container. So I didn't fall for that. So what I did is I basically got it, the right information, and over months and years of just studying everything I can get my hands on. And then one day I was out fishing and I'm walking by in the forest, and I looked at the ground and I looked at the trees and I looked at how they were growing. And I said, wait a minute, nobody's out here fertilizing these and nobody's out here watering these. Um, hmm. I looked at the ground. I noticed that it wasn't all cracked up because somebody was tilling it. And I looked at how much of topsoil was on the layer. It was very thin. And then I looked at the trees and I said, where did the leaves go that fell from this tree during the fall? And it fell during the fall. So I'm looking, thinking, if it fell during the fall, this is all a cycle. So anyway, I got down with the cycles and I understood that nature was fertilizing at a different time. Man was coming out fertilizing in spring and summer. Mother Nature was fertilizing in fall and winter. So that told me that we were doing it backwards. And once I discovered that, it was off. It was on. It was on. And now, because of that, just paying attention, I now got it. I got it now. And so my garden is real easy to work now. Really, really easy to work. Everything's growing beautifully. Corn is doing great. Um, I am going to increase the amount of nitrogen to my corn plants. That means that when I cut my grass tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to collect more grass clippings, which is high in nitrogen, and I'm going to rot that down to for about 3 weeks, and then I'm going to keep adding that because that's very high in nitrogen. So everything I need pretty much for my garden, a lot of it's already there. I got a tree above that I'm going to be trimming some branches off of very soon, and I'll be putting that around some of my fruit trees, and that's it. That's it. That's how you do it. I am having fun in my garden. I went out there and checked everything. Everything's on schedule. Everything's on schedule. Yeah. Everything is coming out beautiful. Let's see. Yep. Gardening. Yes, it's looking good. It's a lot of fun. I had fun out there today. I did have fun today. It just throws me when I see pretty plants like that. I always wanted to grow really healthy, pretty plants. What are you working a lot of hours? Okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah, that's some pretty tough work. Yeah, carpentry work. Carpentry work. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I can relate. I had a buddy that did it. You get up early in the morning and then come back in the evening. One of the great things about the way I garden is it doesn't take a lot of work. The way that I garden now, it doesn't take a lot of work. All I do is use that manure fork, poke the ground a couple times, loosen it up, and then I just simply pick the weeds up off the ground, pick them up. They don't even hold in anymore once you loosen the ground up. And then I just simply move the soil aside, put the seed in, put the manure around it, the seed, and also some organic fertilizer. Bada boom, bada bang. The plant does the rest. But I just gotta water it. Just water. Yeah, watering is the thing I gotta do. And I use rainwater. I'm not running my water bill up for a garden. A garden uses, in my opinion, a great deal of water, and I'd much rather, like I did, I built that rain system, which is those barrels. You know, the barrels, they fill up in no time. You get a rain for about a half an hour, you probably can get 200 gallons of water or more, running right off the roof from the gutter. All right, good people, this is Napoleon Brandy. I'm just looking at an ad here, Napoleon Brandy. It's a liquor that's on commercial. I'm actually looking at another page, but I'm getting back to you, and I want to just say that's it for me tonight. I'm going to relax and get ready to go to work, and at that point, enjoy the rest of the day as much as I can. This is the Morning Gardener. Thank you for tuning in, and looking forward to seeing you again. And remember, keep on growing.